If you see me doodling as I'm making notes, it's not because I think you were really, really boring. If you are, I'll tell you.
I am a data analyst and I find it really interesting getting into data analytics, and I was a trained mechanical engineer. That also I found interesting because you are building stuff, and I was literally into something which was actually getting done there. So I was building the power plants, vessels that you see, all those. So it was pretty interesting, because it was not just small things or just coding. You can actually see the real thing happening, and the sense of responsibility that actually came with it. It's not just a normal responsibility; it's the responsibility of people's life working there. Because if you make a little bit of mistake, it's all gone. And I think the sense of responsibility that it gave me, I can still work on it. And data analytics is something, as I said, my mind curiosity. You give me junk, I'll just make some sense out of it. As long as as long as I find it interesting enough for me to work. Being a data analyst, I kind of love it.
Yes.
And I would not want to leave data analytics, to be honest.
I'm a psychologist and coach for overachieving leaders all around the world, and this requires me to solve some problems. So solving problems for individuals or companies would be things like, like your brain is just too chaotic, you're thinking too much. What got you here is not going to get you there to the next level. People with panic attacks cannot take trains and planes anymore. How do we get you back there in 8 weeks or less? And then people in abusive relationships, wanting to leave a psychopath or a narcissist, and they have like millions of pounds or euros of assets to divide across different continents. So, and then the work I do is very different. So first I could be speaking across 7 time zones a day, which I love. Like one moment I'll be talking to, say, elite military in the US. The next moment I'm talking to a CEO or someone in education. And then next thing I'm talking to somebody who is like a VP in a sports firm. So it keeps me on my toes, and I love that. So my brain is always switched on. So not only am I solving problems, I'm also creating new structures for people and helping them to be very agile. So that also ties in with my curiosity, because I love to learn things across different domains. So, it's not just psychology, there's a lot of stuff about your biology, and there's also, like historical context, understanding different cultures, and I love it.
So how open are you guys in terms of telling people that you have ADHD?
Yeah, super open, not as, like this is my excuse and therefore I'm entitled to be this sort of person, but rather, hey, here's something you need to understand me. If sometimes you see my eyes a bit glazed and I'm not quite here, just bring me back. If you see me doodling as I'm making notes, it's not because I think you were really, really boring. If you are, I'll tell you. But rather, this is something that helps my brain to concentrate, so I actually focus better on you. So when I am able to tell it out to people, it's easier, but of course some people will make things difficult. And sometimes we meet people who say things like, oh, but I'm not like that at all. And total raw eye moment. So this is when I think, because we spend our whole lives trying to mask ourselves, thinking something wrong is wrong with us, we get to be a bit of people pleasers. We tend to say yes to everything. So this is when the boundaries come in. So boundaries are the hell no's in your life. So when people get a bit funny, I will call them out. I'll say that, hey, you've got this habit. You've got mortally scared of cockroaches. You can't drink coffee. I don't call you on that and tease you on that. So in the same way, this is my brain. So if you want me to extend that courtesy to you that I've automatically done, you better do that to me.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty open, because the people I've been around, they don't know, at least the adult female ADHD, because of the stereotypes around ADHD. So I try to just talk about what I have gone through, and how the diagnosis went and what I'm trying to do right now. So for me, like I just can't stick to a timeline, which is like pretty normal for an ADHD people. So I try to have like checks in between. So somebody like has to have a sword around my neck so that I can complete